Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and whoa, what about those PowerCon exclusives? We should probably talk about those, huh? That's right, my friends. So PowerCon is going to be an in-person event this year, which is pretty exciting. And I know things are kind of slowly getting back to normal here in the US, and we're still a little uneasy about it, right? But at the same time, man, I'm so excited to do like an in-person event again. So the news had broke that California, which is where PowerCon is being held, is fully reopening as of June or July, something like that, in the summertime here, which a lot of the states are doing at this point. And as a result, PowerCon is able to hold an in-person event. Precautions are going to be taken, all that stuff. Masks will still be required, as required by the state of California. There'll be social distancing, but in-person event. So that's pretty cool stuff. And I haven't been able to go to a convention in a long time, but I am planning to be at PowerCon because if you guys probably know this by now, but PowerCon is an event that I have been helping out with since it started. It is one of my favorite shows to go to all year long. Obviously, as a big Masters of the Universe fan, obviously with me releasing the book this year, of course I'm going to try to go out to PowerCon. So I'm very excited about it. But this video is all about the exclusives, and they just got announced. I know it's been a couple days, but I found out about them at the same time as you guys, and I was pretty excited to see some of the items that are being offered, and I thought it would be fun to not only talk about what they are and the pricing and when they're getting released, but let's talk about the actual figures and like what they mean and what they're based on, and let's speculate and let's do all that kind of fun stuff. So why don't we do that, huh? So first of all, with the PowerCon exclusives, yes, this will be an in-person event this year, but the way PowerCon always has worked in the past, at least for the past several years, with Mattel doing the exclusives, there has been an option for online ordering and shipping for those of you who are not going in person. All of those details are now posted on the PowerCon website. I'm going to link it in the video description, and any of you guys that want to know all the details, I'm expecting you to click on that and go read it. I think it's very important to read all of the rulings there. But just to say it out loud in this video, I got my laptop sitting right here. The way it's going to work is pre-orders for the attendees, the in-person attendees, which means you have to buy the ticket and actually show up at the event to do these pre-orders. Those are going to begin Saturday, May 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And that'll be one of those things where you can pre-order your stuff right here online. And then I believe you will be picking it up at the show, I think. Read the frequently asked questions just to be sure that I'm right. And then the non-attendee pre-orders are going to be a few days later on May 22nd at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure you mark that on your calendar. Mark that time down if you want to get on here and order these. I know with the market, the way things have been and fast sellouts and everything is on everybody's mind. I will say, and they say it right here on the website, we haven't had that problem with PowerCon exclusives in the past, but again, the market's crazy right now, so hopefully things will be okay. Just make sure you guys get on there. I don't want to make any crazy proclamations because I don't know. Mattel produced the exclusives. I don't know anything about numbers or anything like that. I just don't. That's not information I'm privy to. So just make sure you guys have those dates down if this is stuff that you want to pre-order, and hopefully everybody will be able to get a hold of these. Fingers crossed, right? It's crazy out there. Okay, let's jump into it. Let's talk about these exclusives. Okay, so the big one, the more expensive set, there's always like one big set every year. By the way, all of these are from Mattel, and they're all for the Masters of the Universe Origins line, similar to last year's. So pretty cool stuff, especially for those of you who are fans of that current toy line. So the very first set is the Horde Multipack. This is going to be a $150 set. It includes 4 figures, and I know that price tag's a little for 4 figures. My guess is it's going to have some big, elaborate packaging. That's what they did last year with the Lords of Power set. I can only imagine Mattel's doing the same thing with this. And the smaller production runs, all of that, that's what equals the price. Plus, exclusives for conventions like this is like what helps the conventions run. And I know some of you are like, oh, I don't care, I'm not going to the convention. Well, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. So if you like them, cool. Now, the cool thing I think about all of the exclusives here is they kind of follow that trend that I've always said, that the best convention exclusives are items that aren't necessarily essential. They're not things that like you have to get here or you're never going to get them. Like, these are all pretty much variants. And I think that's a great idea for exclusives, because I think a lot of casuals may not necessarily need to feel like they'd have to jump on these unless they just really like them. So the Horde Multipack is going to include Blue Hordak, Dark Grizzlor, and then a Crimson Horde Trooper and a Shadow Horde Trooper. Woo, so there's a lot to talk about here, a lot to unpack. So like I said, everything in this set is a variant, which is very cool. The Blue Hordak, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. Hordak was blue in the original Filmation cartoons. Also, there's some early artwork from the original toy line where he was drawn blue also. So at some point he was changed to gray, and the original figure was released in gray. When I reviewed the regular gray Hordak figure, I speculated that it was only a matter of time before we saw the blue one, and there it is. So there's a blue one. Also looks like he comes with an arm cannon, which is very cool. Again, that's a nice nod to Filmation since he changed his arm into a cannon. I was looking at that, trying to decide if that's something that they're going to be reusing for Hurricane Hordak at some point. And I guess it really depends on if they're going to include the gimmick. Vintage Hurricane Hordak had no articulation in his arm because he had like a gimmick that made the weapons spin when you plugged him into the cannon. So maybe this is going to be reused for Hurricane Hordak. I don't know. But Blue Hordak, that's pretty exciting stuff. Dark Grizzlor is awesome. And this is one that's really exciting for me and especially anybody in the know. But if you are not aware, there was a variant of the vintage Grizzlor action figure where he had a darker coloration to his face. And so that's kind of one of those like obscure variants. If you guys have a certain He-Man toy book that just came out, it talks about that variant in there. So this is really cool. I think this is a nice little nod. It makes a great exclusive. Not everybody's going to need the dark version of Grizzlor. The other thing that's cool about this is this basically guarantees that regular Grizzlor, like the normal tan colored Grizzlor, is for sure going to be coming to retail. And he's most likely going to have the same real fur look, just like the vintage toy. There is no way that Mattel went out of their way to make this particular mold in this figure if they didn't have plans for the regular Grizzlor coming to retail. So this basically confirms we're going to get a regular Grizzlor, and this exclusive is a really nice nod to the vintage variant. And I can say the same thing about the Horde Troopers. Now, this is really cool because we've never had an official red and black Horde Trooper like this. Not like a full Horde Trooper. I guess you can kind of count those Snake Troopers in classics that had black Horde Trooper armor, but not the helmet. So full on black and red Horde Troopers. Again, this is confirmation that the regular gray Horde Trooper is definitely coming to retail soon, because there's no way they would have made these molds if they didn't plan on releasing the regular Horde Trooper. So this is awesome. This is really cool too, because it's definitely a bit of a nod to some fan-made versions of the Horde Troopers. Specifically, I remember in the early 2000s, there were these figures called Eternia, The Adventure Continues, and there were red and black Horde Troopers in that line. Those were not official figures by any means, but they were like production figures, and they were like circulating around in the early 2000s. I have seen these at toy shows still every now and then. They are very cool, and it's just kind of neat seeing that like now we're getting these official red and black Horde Troopers. So pretty cool stuff. I like this set. I think this is a good one. Next up is the Faker 2-pack, and this one is really interesting. So this is a $60 set, which seems perfectly reasonable because we get a cat and a limited edition figure. Let's talk about Faker first. So this version of Faker is inspired by the Leo Faker, the legendary Leo Faker. And if you guys are unfamiliar with that, Leo Toys is the company that got the official license to release Masters of the Universe action figures over in India. And there were some color variations, and one of the most iconic variations from these international releases is Faker, because they gave Faker a black kind of eye band around his eyes, and they also packaged him with an orange version of Skeletor's Havoc Staff and an orange version of Skeletor's belt. So he's kind of one of those like legendary figures, and this is really cool to see like this Origins nod to that legendary figure. He's got the black band on his eyes, he's got the Havoc Staff, he's got the Skeletor belt. This is exactly the kind of thing that I love, and I'm so happy to see this figure in this set. The other thing is a brand new cat character that they're calling Duplicat, which, man, that's a pretty great name. So Duplicat. Now, this is really interesting. A faker version of Battle Cat is one of those things we've seen fans doing for a long time. And I absolutely can't do this without giving a proper shout out to Joe Amato, who is a very prominent fan in the community. And he's got one of the most iconic versions of a faker Battle Cat that he called Copycat. He's even done multiple versions of them over the years. As soon as I saw this, that's the first thing I thought of was Joe's Copycat. So, you know, we got to give credit where it's due, I think. And of course, it's Mattel's IP. They can do what they want with their IP. But, you know, I know me and a lot of fans saw this and were immediately like, oh, wow, that's just like Joe Amato's Copycat figure. So Duplicat is like a blue version of Battle Cat with an orange saddle just to match up with Faker. They did some interesting things, like he's got silver on his face, like it's supposed to be metal. He's also got these new front paws, which are all silver and they're kind of robotic looking and they got big claws on them. I was looking at that and I was trying to decide if that's going to be eventually reused for a 2000X version of Battle Cat, because he had those like bigger kind of claws on the front. I can't decide if that looks too robotic or not, but maybe they sculpted those with that in mind. I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating and thinking ahead. But there you go. Duplicat and Leo Faker. I'm super excited, especially for that Leo Faker. I think that's awesome. And the final exclusive is the Secrets of Greyskull accessory pack, another $30 set. This is quite frankly incredible. So this is an accessory set for the Castle Greyskull playset. And the biggest thing in here is that it's got the space suit, the suit of armor. If you guys watched my review of Castle Greyskull from Origins, I was quite complainy about the fact that the suit of armor was missing. And in the vintage toy line, the suit of armor was just a cardboard cutout. In the classics line, at least we got like a static piece for the suit of armor in there. But in that new Castle Greyskull, there's like foot pegs in the castle where it looks like one should be standing. And I speculated in my review that they might do a full-on action figure. Well, my friends, they did it. The suit of armor is coming and it's a fully articulated action figure. What? I think in the classics line, he got the name Jetpack. I don't know if they're going to use Jetpack for this, but I just love that we're getting the suit of armor, and I love that it's a fully articulated action figure. Fans have wanted something like that for a long time with that suit of armor, so it's very cool. We're also getting an actual like 3D dungeon grate with like a giant tentacle thing coming out of it. This is really cool because the dungeon grate has always just been a sticker in like every version of Castle Greyskull. So we're finally getting something that we can like slide into the castle that's like a full-on dungeon grate. I love it. And then it's also got this Spirit of Greyskull kind of little smoke with the skull on it that will sit up on the tower. And I love this because this is a nod to the early mini comics, especially like the King of Castle Greyskull. Some of those early mini comics had like an actual spirit of Castle Greyskull that was represented by this plume of smoke in the shape of a skull coming out of the tower. I love this. So this will sit on one of the towers, I imagine. It's just a really great accessory set. So there you guys go. That's the PowerCon exclusive. That's my thought on the PowerCon exclusives. I think it's a really good selection. I think Mattel did a great job selecting a lot of this stuff. Some really fun, like deep cuts here. But again, also things that I don't necessarily think are going to be like must-haves by everybody. But for longtime fans, there's some really exciting stuff here. So in-person attendees, pre-orders begin May 15th at 9 a.m. Pacific, and those of you who can't attend but still want to pre-order these, those pre-sales begin May 22nd at 9 a.m. Pacific, and PowerCon is happening September 11th and 12th in beautiful Anaheim, California, right next door to Disneyland. So hopefully I can see some of you guys there this year. If not, make sure you guys head over to thepower-con.com. Again, I'll link it in the description. Go read the frequently asked questions and don't miss out on the sale if this is something that you guys are interested in. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.
The Toys of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is available for pre-order now. This official guidebook is published by Dark Horse Books and features over 750 pages of photos and information on your favorite He-Man and She-Ra action figures. And don't miss out on the exclusive bundle pack available for pre-order now from PowerCon. This bundle includes the official guide as well as an exclusive character guide supplement that you won't be able to buy anywhere else. Don't miss out. You have the power.